I always like to close out this lecture by showing some of the things that these rules and regulations have protected us from. Back in the early days of the 20th century, before the FDA really came into power in 1906, so in those early days of the 1900s and prior to that in the 1800s and all throughout history before that, we were pretty vulnerable if we chose to take a medication. We didn't really know what that med could do, and people could whip up all kinds of things in their kitchen and sell it and make any claim they wanted, and there really was not any way to control it. So this one we've all heard of. This is banish your fat. Eat what you want and always stay thin, which is everybody's dream, right? However, if you look closer, how is that done? Sanitized tapeworm eggs. So you swallow a little tapeworm larva in a capsule, and it grows to be, 12 inches long in your intestine, and it eats half your food. Now, if it only ate the fatty parts of the food that put weight on, not so bad, but unfortunately, the tapeworm gets the nutrients too. This one, ambition pills for weak and nervous men. Now, originally I thought this was 3 different guys, but then I realized, no, this is the same man taking the ambition pills. So on the left, look at how crabby he looks, bags under his eyes, mustache drooping. Not really a happy guy. Doesn't even bother combing his hair. The guy in the middle has been taking it for a while. There's some improvement. He hasn't actually combed his hair, but at least he's kind of run his fingers through it, and his mustache looks a little perkier. Doesn't look quite so tired and exhausted. And then the guy on the right, boy, those pills have helped a lot. His mustache is perky, sticking up on both ends. He looks young and vigorous, and he has combed his hair. Most of these pills that increased ambition were basically amphetamines that just made you feel like you could get busier. And these were for men. They weren't for women. Imagine that. Beecham, Lydia Beecham's products sold for years and years and years, and every family used a certain number of products with the Beecham's label. You can see on the right they have Beecham's toothpaste in collapsible tubes, 1 shilling each. But she also sold pills that was supposed to, cure everything. And basically, when they analyzed the contents, it was a laxative with aloe, ginger, and then soap. Aloe is good. It's excellent. It's in cosmetics. It soothes burns. Ginger has some good benefits. It's an herb, a nutritional supplement, but it's got some benefits. But basically, if you add it to aloe and a laxative, all it does is make things a little bit irritating, so you feel like you've actually had something. So you'd basically have increased bowel movements that stung a little, and you'd feel like you really got something. How about this for your kids? Cocaine toothache drops. Believe it or not, cocaine is a very potent vasoconstrictor. It's still used in certain surgeries where you are not able to easily get up and cauterize tiny, tiny capillaries like nasal surgeries. But it used to be doctors could get it freely, and they used it freely, and abused it freely in many cases. So cocaine is a very valuable med to stop bleeding. However, we know that in this case, the risks far outweigh the benefits. But at one time, you could get it from all druggists for 15 cents. Your child had a toothache, little cocaine, rub it on their gums, no problems. Now, we hear a lot about the concept of detoxification. Detox. Drink this and you'll detox. Soak in this and you'll detox. Rub this all over your body and you'll detox. This is not a new concept. We have been trying to purify our blood and clean ourselves out since the dawn of mankind. And one way that it was used was this drug called sulfume. You could get soap. You could get this medicine. And basically, it was just really smelly water in a bottle. And it was for impure blood. That could mean any number of things. Diseases of the skin, rheumatism, and weak kidneys, which is ironic because your kidney is one of your main detoxifiers. A healthy kidney system gets rid of more junk out of your body than any dubious liquid that you could take, but people really bought into it. And the smellier it was, the more they felt detoxified. All right, you got a cough that's keeping you awake at night? Check this out. You drink this, you won't cough. Alcohol, cannabis indica, which is the chemical name for, well, not the chemical name, it's the natural name for weed, chloroform, and morphia. Liquid morphine sulfate. So, I mean, check that out. I think they called it one night because if you took it, you'd only survive one night. I mean, good grief. Look at that. No wonder you didn't cough. Asthma? How about one of Dr. Batty's asthma cigarettes? They work well for asthma, hay fever, foul breath. Imagine that. Any diseases you have of the throat, head colds, just, smoke one of these cigarettes. Canker sours, which I think refer to those sores that you get in your mouth from too much acid. And any kind of bronchial irritation. Look at Dr. Batty. He looks like you could trust him, right? Only one side of his mustache is pointing up. So apparently he hasn't finished his course of ambition pills for weak and nervous men. But to Dr. Batty's credit, he does not recommend these asthma cigarettes for children under 6. Thank God. So if your child is 6, smoke them up. Medical marijuana, not at all a new issue. Used to be available on druggist counters in a little bottle here that was a fluid extract of cannabis indica. Not a new thing at all. The American Druggist Syndicate helped provide it and produce it. So, not anything new that we are dealing with. Do you have pain and a cough? Long as you have a little heroin in your mixture, you're fine. Made by the Bayer Company. Bayer Pharmaceutical Products. So heroin at one time was actually synthesized to try to help people kick morphine, and it was used as sort of a replacement for morphine. So how'd that work for us? Look at, in addition to your aspirin, a little bit of heroin, Salafin, which is a salicylate, a substance in the acid, lysitol, I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds like it would fix you up, right? Colicky baby, check this out. 46% alcohol and 1 1/16 grains of opium. See, here's our grains. This was how it was measured. So this was an elixir. We talked about an elixir where a medication was mixed with alcohol. Alcohol served as the carrier for that particular med, and boy, this would do the trick. So adults could have as much as a teaspoonful. If your baby was just 5 days old, try to limit it to 5 drops, so it'll still breathe. So a lot of meds that we've been protected from because of the FDA. So